I'm Anne, and I had a DVT about 3.5, going to 4 years ago. Coming back home to Dublin, then my leg started to swell, so I went to see a GP. I'm active. I do not have any kind of family history or anything like that, so there was no suspicion of any thrombosis of any kind. I think I was in denial for a little bit because it's such an overwhelming diagnosis. I went to my physio. I have a very good physio down the road from me, and she was the one telling me to go to the hospital. So she sent me back. Obviously, she sent me to A&E, and I got the diagnosis about they suspected the thrombosis, but they had to run some tests to make sure. So they put me on some, I don't even know what it was, anticoagulant, and then I came back and I got the results 24 hours later. I suppose one of the things with the A&E experience was very much about what thing that strikes me now is on how detached the intern I was dealing with was about it. He was very dismissive about on how overwhelmed I was about what was happening, and he told me something like, "Oh, but that's not a life-changing thing. You're gonna get over it. We'll get you some blood thinners, and you'll be over it in no time." And I just, at the time, because I was not very aware of what was about to happen, I was just like, okay, grand. But then I think about it all the time. Every time I think about the DVT, I'm just like, actually, that's not true. It totally changed everything. My relationship with my body, my relationship with my activities, or just with my health in general. And I'm just like, that was really not a very, I suppose, just a very nice thing to say.
Yeah.
So at the hospital, I had scans and all the tests that need to be run to confirm what it was. And then they put me on, so there was a lot of talk about, again, that I didn't know anything about at that time, about what type of blood thinners you can be on, and on how I was so much better because you didn't have to have blood tests all the time, and blah. So I just said yes. They put me on that very strong dose for a while. They made me come back a couple of days later, and there was a consultant there, a very nice gentleman, and because they wanted to know what had triggered the DVT for somebody my age and for a profile like mine. And as far as I understood at that time is that my DVT was actually quite enormous, that the clot was massive, and that they really wanted to know what had triggered it. So I did a couple more tests there and a lot of questions and all that stuff, but they kind of pinpoint to my contraception, and that was basically the only thing that could actually explain the whole thing. And then the medication started to kick in at that stage, but it's a bit of a blurry time for me when I think the brain actually starts processing what you have been told and the risks very risky, because I actually flew back from France without knowing what was going on with a clot in my leg. I actually walked on that leg. I had normal kind of work activity and all kind of stuff for a couple of weeks before I got the diagnosis. And when I think about it now, I'm just like, oh. You were so lucky. So when I realized that it was potentially life-threatening, I got into a period of fear, absolute fear. Is it moving? Is it getting bigger? What's going on? Is it going to move up? Am I going to get a PE? All that. And also my leg got really, really sore, and I couldn't walk for a while. From the moment that I got, it's really because my leg got so big and so painful. I cried. My physio is about like 100 meters down the road, and I cried my way in and my way out because it was so painful. And so that started isolating me as well. So sickness really kind of did that. I was scared, but I was also not actually able to do anything. I mean, I had to stay at home. I stopped working. I'm lucky enough that I can do that without having any income loss, because I run my own company. And then the isolation is a big one. You just cut yourself off. You don't want your friends to see you in a situation of weakness. Well, this is the way I work anyway. I went back to the hospital because she wanted to see me, and there was a team of doctors around me, and she was the first person actually squeezing my hand, telling me that it was going to be okay, and that I had been through so much. And that was the first time that thing was actually acknowledged. When I started the treatment, that medication was presented to me as this miracle drug, because there was no like with the other vitamin K based thing, that there's no blood test, and there's none of that stuff. You can eat whatever you want, and it's just a couple of tablets a day and stuff. The amazing thing for me, and when I say amazing and it's like shocking, is that nobody ever had told me about the effects on your periods. And I am here at home, terrified, not having any way of contacting anybody, and I find myself isolated like 3 days a month, not able to leave my house because the bleeding is so bad. And it's only when I met that consultant, anecdotally, she's a woman, and where she actually just switched me to another molecule straight away, because she told me straight away, yeah, this is how you period, and like it's not going well. I think I was in anemia at some stage because it was so bad. But that's the only time where I actually heard a professional telling me about what the side effects of that wonder drug were, and it just adding this on top of what I've talked about before, the isolation, the sickness, the not able to work, moving around, the pain, all these things, the massive amount of mental interrogations that you have. It was, the vicious circle was kind of completed there, because I got the DVT back in May, and by July or August I was able to get out of the house again. I have been off the medication for 4 months now. That was a big thing for me. I assume that it's the case for a lot of people who have been through that. It's just like from the moment you're not protected by the medication, then the fear just comes back. But knowing what I know now, I would actually tell people, but especially women who are suspecting to have a DVT, first of all, go and consult as soon as you can. If there's anything weird, you feel that there's a back cramp not going away or any swelling, you go and you don't wait like I did. It will not get better unless you actually get attended to. That's a very, very important point. Don't be in denial. This could actually kill you. And I'm so lucky that it didn't get any more serious. The other thing is, do ask about the side effects on blood thinners. Really, really do, and insist on the fact that if you already have a bad period, or if you are somebody who is having just difficult periods, just ask questions. Please do ask questions. And if the medication doesn't work straight away, or the side effects are too big for you, just do ask to switch. It is possible to have something that doesn't have that much of an effect on your everyday life. The other thing is it's very much about the mental health effects. Talk to people and try to find, thanks to your organization and the likes, this is just so precious, because it is so isolating, and it's not something, considering on how many people it kills every year, it is incredible that it is just not talked about.